Just watch me, mouse. Just watch me catch you. Just watch me, mouse. Just watch me catch you, catch you, catch you. All I do is impress you with my mouse trap. All I do is convince you with my cheese. All I do is be the coolest cat here. But I'll need some more super burrito. But I need some more super burrito. But I need some more super burrito.
Hello, MouseHunt. Welcome to Feedback Friday. It is October 4, 2024. I got a couple fours in there. Hopefully everybody is doing well today. Welcome on in. Hello, Ari, dancing away to the music. As if hello from New York. Zeitgeist, coming in with a ghost, getting in the spooky spirit for Halloween. Welcome on in, laid back, Lady Nutsy, nice to see you. Mark, Dubious, hello to you. Zapke, hello back at you. Fleming, spooky, scary skeletons, sending shivers down your spine. Fleming's getting in the scary spirit as well. Edward, hello to you. Good morning back at you there, Lady Nutsy. YX Dave, you're early by 1 minute, am I? Was I now? All right. Well, better early than never. What? That's not how it goes. Hello, YX. Hopefully you're doing well. Diamond, nice to see you. Vaughn, welcome on in. Glad you made it home in time this week. Well, I'm glad you made it home in time as well to join myself and everybody here. Saul, hello. Daniel's got a jack-o'-lantern for their display picture. Getting in a bit of Halloween spirit. Jedi, happy Friday back at you. Bring on the spooky mice, eh? There are quite a few. There's not as many as the Great Winter Hunt. The Winter Hunt has quite a few event mice. But the Halloween, the various Halloween mice are numerous as well. There are quite a few. Summer, welcome in. Nice to see you. We need the potions for Halloween, eh? As if, well, there are some popular picks that will be returning, as well as a couple little tweaks to some existing potions in the Boiling Cauldrons. So, as I shared last time on Feedback Friday, it's going to be starting on October 17 is when we have the Halloween event slotted to begin. It is Baba Gaga, the Boiling Cauldrons, and the Gloomy Greenwood is making a return. This year, we're adding Chrome Charms to the Rift Defier potion, so you'll be able to upgrade your Chrome Charms into Rift Chrome Charms, kind of playing around with what tiers of Chrome Charms are going to work with the potion, whether it's all of them or just one of them or somewhere in between, but kind of leaning towards all of them, but we'll see how things go. As well as Master Mage's Cheese is going to be added as a possible produced item from the Epic Cheese potion. We'll be able to pour it on a lower tier cheese to produce some Master Mage's Cheese to use in the School of Sorcery. Couple other little different things as well this year. We're trying a bit of a more concise shutdown phase to the event. And kind of some feedback we've had, just some of it's the nature of the event as well, but it's a little lengthy. Halloween tends to drag on for a while. And, we have some other things for November. And it kind of feels weird to start something new in November while the Halloween area is still open, or it's almost the end of November and the Halloween decorations are still up. It's probably time to take them down. People aren't too much in the spooky, scary spirit anymore by the time the calendar rolls over to November. So we're shortening the shutdown phase to make it a little bit more concise. There'll still be that 1 week phase where your cauldrons work, but the mice are not dropping any ingredients, so you can kind of brew as much as you can during that final week. But then after that, just a concise 2-day cash out that you have to spend your evil extract. And to help expedite that a little bit, we're adding the Instant Alchemy Workbench, and it's just to save a few clicks, so you don't have to use the cauldron to do quite as much clicking. Here's what it's looking like on the browser version. This is still a bit of a work in progress. We're still, pulling it together. Won't be available until the final shutdown phase either, so there's a little bit of time as well for us to put the finishing touches on it. But you can see it basically, it takes your mouse drake and it takes some reagent. You click one button and it brews as much as it can. It's kind of similar if you were to load up the cauldron with the mouse drake and then click the the button to use your reagent that way. So it kind of streamlines things, fewer clicks to do. There's a button as well to quickly convert 45 mouse drake into 15 reactive reagent, so you can keep topping yourself off there. That button will disable itself when you get to the point where you have more reagent than mouse drake, and that's kind of the magic number, right? If you're just going to cash it all out, then you can kind of click that button until it grays out, click the big green button above it, and basically you're done in a few fun clicks, rather than loading up the cauldron over and over. And there's a mobile version of this as well that we're putting together, so that'll be available during the shutdown phase, and as well to help accommodate a little bit more of a concise cash out period. So it's kind of good to get that news out there ahead of time that's going to be a little more brief. So you definitely want to be thinking about what potions you want to be spending your evil extract on as the event's going by, and be able to make some quick decisions when the event starts wrapping up. Math should say hi, but I'm too scared. Huzzah says errors? Yeah, it is a little tedious using if you wait till the very last minute. That's kind of natural. Sometimes we all, the procrastinator in all of us shows up, and we wait till the last minute to start setting up or start brewing all of the evil extracts. This just kind of streamlines it, but still hopefully feels there's some fun clicks to be doing. You're still doing a little bit of alchemy, right? It's a little bit more fun than just a shop transaction. Going to the apothecary and clicking a button. You still get some moments to decide how much do you want to brew. Wax, have you decided not to add any Draconic Depths cheese to the Halloween potions this year? I think this year it might be a little too soon to add any cheese to the potions, as well as it might require a little bit more creative ingenuity, because it's not one cheese being upgraded into another cheese. We're going to think about that a little bit, as well as with it being so new, coming out right before Halloween. If that was an option, it feels like such a obvious pick that in some ways it removes the fun of choosing how you want to cash out your evil extract. The kind of the fun decision of there's a lot of tempting choices, and you're choosing between some that have some different pros and cons, and you can all weigh them on a similar scale. Whereas that might be a little bit too, as odd as it sounds, too compelling, and kind of take away from some of that fun decision making that you have at the end of the event to pick what potions you want to purchase with your evil extract in a way. So just kind of hold off for a little bit on that. And we're a little bit new, kind of let it run on its own before events kind of touch. That said, the Great Winter Hunt's around the corner as well, and you'll certainly be able to send a golem to the Draconic Depths as well. So if you're looking forward to kind of use an event season to pick up some supplies for the Draconic Depths, the Winter Hunt will be well positioned. That said, the Dragonbane potions that you can get in the Gloomy Greenwood, those are no doubt very useful as well if you're running low on Dragonbane charms. That'll be a great way to restock those, especially if you have a lot of solidified amber queso. Andrish, why was Big Jack canceled this year? I don't think she was ever scheduled to be officially released, so she wasn't quite canceled, but there's just she didn't visit. There was no time for Big Jack this year. AY, would you consider making the lightning and the chrome auras a more pokeable item like the processor? I mean, yeah, yes and no. I think we might just kind of leave those as they are. We've kind of been experimenting with different ways of activating auras and how the durations and what have you work as well. But we might just kind of leave those ones the way they are. They've been that way for quite a while, and I think they work okay in that way. There's a couple rough edges, but I don't know if we have any immediate plans to change how those are activated. Zapke says, another 100 ultimate potions for me this year. I'm always tempted as well. I always need to pick up some ultimate potions. I think I'll be getting a few more Dragonbane potions. I did get a few last year, and I was glad I did, actually, when the Draconic Depths came, and I checked my inventory. I was like, oh yeah, I got some of these potions. I'm going to make some Dragonbane charms. Yeah, similarly, a little fun, maybe a little fun exercise as well, if you're looking for Dragonbane charms, is go visit the Cantera Quarry. Go see how much Notchore you have. You can pick up some Dragonbane charms from that shop using your Notchore. Floating Islands as well might be a nice surprise. You show up, you can buy Dragonbane charms using your Sky Ore and your Sky Glass, especially if you've done some Sky Palace runs. And you might be thinking, you know, I don't know if it's too popular of a pick to go to the Sky or the Sky Glass Vault when you visit the Sky Palace. That's kind of a nice way to farm some Dragonbane charms if you give the Sky Palace a go. And especially, hey, if you have a compressed jet stream to pop, it's a good way to farm up some storm cells. And then when the jet stream aura is depleted, then you can go and visit the Sky Palace. Winter event has golems confirmed. Fair enough, Fleming. You caught me. Yep. We may as well we'll get, you know, we're talking all things event season, I guess, this Feedback Friday. And yes, indeed, I've been working on getting the Winter Hunt back up and restored alongside with the team. And indeed, the golems are up and running. So it's fairly safe bet to say the golems will be returning this year. And that is all currently a work in progress. And it's, you know, sometimes it feels a bit odd in September to be getting out the Winter Hunt stuff. I don't even think fall or autumn had begun and we had started the Winter Hunt. But, you know, that it takes a bit of time to put things together, I guess, is the takeaway from that. YX, will there be any new Halloween mouse this year? No, we've been kind of being a little bit conservative with adding new event mice. There's definitely a period years ago where we just add more and more every year for the sake of adding them, and it gets a little bit tricky to find a compelling identity for them all and a purpose for them all to serve in the event. Maps start to get this kind of into an awkward place too, right? Imagine you have 100 mice that you can encounter with a type of cheese. That means each individual mouse, you know, the highest encounter rate they can have is 1%. So now they're all individually rather rare, if you follow me there. Now, some events lend themselves better to having more mice than others. You know, the Boiling Cauldrons, certainly there's lots of unique types of cheese. That helps kind of split up the event mice, you know, helps smooth out maps so you don't kind of get stuck on one, you know, rare mouse that isn't even meant to be rare, but it's, you know, just rare by consequence. But that said, you know, events get reimagined every once in a while, and there's these cast of characters that we need to find a home for. And you know, sometimes even lately what we've been doing is moving a few of those mice into permanent locations. That's helped, but also too, sometimes you don't want to force it either if it's not going to work in a permanent area. So it can leave us, you feel like you paint yourself in a corner sometimes if you have too many event mice. That said, it is fun to add a new one every now and then. And we kind of reserve when the event gets reimagined, it's a good time to add a new character. Look at the Frost King mouse with the Great Winter Hunt. We reimagine the Great Winter Hunt, change the narrative and the theme of it a little bit. It's a good opportunity to add a new protagonist. Zapke, you hope the Great Winter Hunt can be revised. Golems is getting stale since it's been repeated for 2 years. You know, fair enough. It gets a little bit, it's a little bit polarizing, but at the same time, there's just so much fun feedback while the golems are out and about. We did, you know, give it a fresh coat of paint by adding 3 areas, giving it a whole new region. You know, hopefully that changed the journey a little bit, gave more of a story and kind of an outer loop that you're working on, and not just solely focused on the golems, but you know, no immediate plans to retire the golems. It's time to sound my horn. Let's see what we got. I got the loot mouse. I got the loot mouse. You can craft Dragonbane's charms to 1 acolyte per charm. That might not be the best way to go about it, Swift, but yes, indeed, you can certainly craft them from your frozen scrolls. And maybe just a bit of a relic of a previous era of the game where the Dragonbanes served a little bit of a different purpose, where they were just little win buttons against that dragon mouse. But as we've gotten better draconic equipment, the game's kind of evolved. They turn into a little bit more of a bread and butter charm. You're a returning player years since you last played the Halloween event. Pretty excited how to look nowadays. It's a pretty fun version of the Halloween event. There's been some fun ones over the years. Certainly some nostalgia ones. I still have nostalgic feelings for trick-or-treating, visiting friends' profiles and ringing the bell, dusting off the cobwebs. Fleming, that's a good point. Everything's a work in progress till it's fine. It's always a good disclaimer to have out on Feedback Friday, and that, you know, it's not Announcement Friday, it's Feedback Friday. And often we share what we're working on before it's even finished, because it's just a great time to get impressions from players. And, you know, as I often say, then that's nice food for thought. It kind of fuel in our minds as we make some final decisions. But with that comes, you know, the potential for a little bit of frustration, because we might show something and then it ends up not playing out the way we shared it. But yeah, I think that's part of the process, and it's overall does more good than harm including players in that creative decision-making process by getting early impressions while things are still a work in progress. Thomas, can we please remove the Dragoon mouse from the Origin maps? Well, some mice have to have a little bit of a unique challenge to them. I believe in you, Thomas. I think you're up for the challenge. I think if you've reached the Draconic Depths, you've got the hunter fortitude to hunt down that mouse. Now, we have been toying around with maybe some different hunting equipment for to tackle some of those challenges in new creative ways, but we might be getting ahead of ourselves. Schoolwork at a retirement area for all the mice. There, every once in a while that idea does come up, kind of the island of event mice, where the event mice can migrate to. But it doesn't feel creative enough to me. It always feels tacked on. When I ask myself, given a blank slate, if there's mice didn't exist, would you make an island where you put a bunch of mice that all have a wildly different theme and narrative to them with no sort of interesting way to tie up together those characters? And the answer is no. No, that sounds very out of place and uncohesive. So I think that's why we resist the urge to do that. It feels a little like it'll stick out like a sore thumb. Or when a new player starts the game and they see this weird island, they'll just inevitably have to ask, like, what's the deal with this place, right? And so we're waiting for a little bit more of a creative solution. And even some of the Valentine's mice, just even reimagining their character a little bit, changing some of their backstory, right? Just kind of, changing their canonical place in the game, updating the art a little bit. And that's kind of maybe a more creative way to go about finding a home for some of these mice, and when there gets to be a few two event mice for a specific event. Schoolwork Origin maps already reward way too much stuff. No way they should remove the Dragoon. They are very rewarding maps. So sometimes it's nice when there's a great challenge with it comes great reward. We often struggled. For a long time, there was the suggestion to have what became Slayer maps. Can you make a map that takes you across the whole game and you got to get all the toughest mice from everywhere, like those boss mice, or we like to call them big game mice. And we're like, that's a really fun idea, but what reward could possibly live up to that challenge? So, hopefully we found a good spot with that, with auras, even bait keep charms. In hindsight, I don't know if maps were the best place to put the bait keep charms, but at the time that felt like a very powerful reward for doing such a challenging map. Soul, would you consider bringing back old event cheeses to break up how new events are completed? A lot of legacy cheeses now. It is what it is, right? And it just might be more of a case of needing to organize the inventory in a way, but there's no immediate priority to kind of add some sort of attic you can tuck away old stuff in. But I think it's just the nature of events, and rather than try to force it, and because it just becomes a compounding problem as the years go by. You have more and more stuff that you have to incorporate into the event, and I worry it'll get very disjointed, right? There'll be too many moving parts. Sometimes less is more. That said, what we do with the old event cheese a lot, and off the top of my head, I don't know if it works that way in the Gloomy Greenwood, but I know it works that way for the Winter Hunt, is it serves the same purpose as Super Brie, or it might be a slightly better Super Brie in that you can get some unique mice with it. So I know in the Great Winter Hunt, let's say you still have Arctic Asiago, or Snowball Bocconcini, or Festive Feta, or gingerbread cheese, or I'm sure there's even more Winter Hunt cheeses. You can arm them, and they give you a pretty good drop rate of getting the pecan pecorino cheese. So you can still use it to farm up this year's event cheese, kind of speeds things up. There's still an application for it, but it's not mandatory. It's not part of the big loop, and it feels like it's not yet another moving part to have to find a place for. Eric, can you please consider cleaning up the send raffle process? I think at this point, the raffle system, it's an old one. And it's definitely, it was made many, many moons ago. And we're kind of leaving well enough alone. I think as soon as you get in there to touch it, it's going to have to be reimagined from scratch. Now, we do have a lot of creative ideas of how to make that raffle system a lot more fun, but it isn't a priority for us right now. YX, will you be doing a live demo of the HUD for Halloween this year? I didn't set that up, no. It'll be very similar to last year. This is pretty well the only new interface to explore. Maybe it would have been fun to be able to click this a little bit, but it's not too complex. Basically, this shows you all of the mouse drake and the reagent that you own, and if you click the green button, it's very hard in a reverse mirror to point correctly here, but if you click the big green button, bam, it just turns all that reagent and all that mouse drake into as much evil extract as you can. Now, if you have more mouse drake than evil extract, that orange convert button down at the bottom. You can click it just to kind of convert one dose at a time and basically kind of be deciding, okay, how much of my reagent, maybe you want to get your rest of your reagent from the marketplace or the premium shop or, etc. You can get it from other sources, or you can click that button and it'll gray out when it's like, you shouldn't get any more of this. And you can still go to the general store though. Let's say you want to convert your mouse trick into reagent and sell it on the marketplace for gold. Maybe you'd rather have gold than potions. That's certainly an option. You can go to the general store, convert all your mouse trick into reagent, put it up on the marketplace. Another hunter buys it, and they use it to use up all their mouse trick. And it's kind of that's the marketplace interaction of the event. Andres, you are correct. The HUD is going to be the exact same as previous years. Yeah, I think the only other addition is during shutdown, a button does get added so you can open up this instant alchemy workbench. But that is it. Any plans for an upgrade of the chrome temporal turbine, eh? I don't believe so. No, there's kind of a more powerful shadow trap that comes after that now, so I can't imagine us upgrading the chrome temporal turbine yet again. That's probably not going to happen, but who knows? Maybe a really great idea comes up, and you never know when the lightning is going to get captured in the bottle. The festive frontier or mice compete to be the top holiday, eh? Upgrade for the Chrome School of Sharks. An upgrade for a Hydro Trap does seem overdue, doesn't it? Baz in there in the chat. Well, we'll see. I don't know. Who knows what the future may hold, whether there might be a new Hydro Trap on the horizon. But it certainly seems like we haven't had one in a while. I wonder if one might be coming. Well, if we put Halloween a little bit into the rearview mirror, if I can find where this is, there it is. We can take a look at what else is in store for event season, kind of talking about event season, how it's getting started, where it's going, when Halloween wraps up. And Halloween will be officially completely done and over with on November 13. That is also when the Relic Hunter Season 10, which is the final season of the Relic Hunter, will come to an end on that same day, November 13. So if you have not got those limited edition bases from Season 10 of the Relic Hunter, you may want to go and do that before November 13. I would even say you might want to go and do that this weekend, maybe. Don't leave it to the last minute. And then with that comes something new. So we've been looking at Relic Hunter feedback for many years, and I think one of the takeaways we had was that the LE rewards kind of felt like everyone, you either did it right when the Relic Hunter season changed or right at the end when it's about to end. And it really did feel like an event where you got some bases, but then not a lot of people even used the bases. It was a challenging spot to kind of keep coming up with something compelling for both, especially with maps where it's for low-level, mid-game, end-game players. It's for everybody in the game. It's very hard to find some sort of niche base that everyone's going to find valuable in their own way. So it was a challenging reward space. And I think one of the takeaways we took is it's just fun if everybody's all focused on maps all at the same time. There's something fun about everyone's doing the same thing at the same time. It's easier to find people to join you on the map because everyone's just really super interested in doing maps. So we wanted to lean into that and make it even more fun to be doing more maps with more friends with something called a treasure map mega party. And so during this event, maps are going to be able to hold twice as many hunters, up to a maximum of 10. So if you already have a mega map that already holds 10 players, it'll still be 10. So you probably don't want to open up those scrolls during the event. But any other map other than solo maps and wanted posters are going to be able to hold twice as many hunters, up to a maximum of 10. So any map that you can think of, whether it's a Slayer map, whether it's a Lightning map, an area-specific map, you could be doing a Fungal Cavern map, the number of hunters that you can invite are going to double. Now, when the event comes to an end, everybody stays on that map, but any of the extra superfluous slots, if I can call it that, they'll be gone, right? So if you on the 1 minute before the event ends and you have 9 people on a map, and when the event ends, that 10th slot is going to disable, but all the other 9 players on the map can finish it together. And really, that's it in a nutshell. And it's just a fun, short burst. Everybody's just can be a little bit more excited and a little bit more motivated to all be mapping together. And we're hoping that encapsulates a lot of the good, fun feelings that the Relic Hunter seasons have. while avoiding some of the more, I don't know, less interesting parts of it, or the ones that we kind of saw people didn't really engage with too much. Yeah, certainly Swift, the origin of dragons. I think some of the fun is it is open-ended. Now, some things make sense. The solo maps, they should probably remain solo maps. That's important. That's part of their identity. They shouldn't be increased. And the wanted posters as well. They're a logical exception to it as well. They're kind of tied to a specific area. So those are the exceptions. But other than that, the fun part is it's very open-ended. And it can appeal to everyone, right? Whereas, limited edition base rewards, you either like the base, you don't like the base, you're different about the base. A lot of times they're just a collectible item that never gets any use. But this is very open-ended. If you are a low-level player, you could do a Narnia map, and now you can do that map with 9 people instead of 4 other people. If you're an endgame player, you can open up an Origin of Dragons map, and doing that with even more people at the same time. There you go, Fleming. Double the people for Slayer maps might tempt me to do one. I think that's a good point as well. It kind of opens it up to maybe if you've been a little bit shy about diving into some those more challenging maps. Hopefully this creates an opportunity as well where some people can take you under your wing for a little bit, and you can tackle that challenging map with a little extra backup than normal. Kind of test the waters a little bit, get your feet wet, and then you might find some of the fun in doing those maps even after the event ends. Alex, can the party size rainbow maps hold 20? So now that's an important note right there to see up to a maximum of 10. So to be as succinct as possible here, the maps will hold twice as many hunters up to a maximum of 10. So if the party size is already 10 hunters and the maximum is 10, it will not go to 20. The maximum is still 10. If someone leaves the map after the event ends, will the extra slot disappear? Yes, so the slot goes away, but no one's kicked off the map when the event ends. So just that final map of the event, you make sure you want to fill it up before the event comes to an end. As you won't be able to invite anyone over its limit, but no one gets removed from the map. Andrish, is this going to be a rerun in the future? Is it a one and done thing? I don't know. It's a little too early to say. And it's not even released yet, so it's hard to say whether it'll come back the next time. That might be getting ahead of ourselves a bit. School party mapping every map seems insanely strong. It's just for a limited time. I think there's something fun about something being, a little extra powerful, but just for a short period of time as well. And at the end of the day as well, I think the idea sounds very fun, right? So sometimes it's okay that something's maybe just a little extra rewarding, just because the limitation there is the time that you have to use that, and sort of the decisions you make as well. It's being very open-ended. You can pick any map that you want to be working on. You should play the new jingle for this event. Hey, uh-oh. What are we working with here? Is this going to come through? All right. I'm trusting Giorgio here. I've never listened to this. We're going to hear the world premiere of Giorgio's jingle. Well, thank you for that, Giorgio. Thank you for that. Kevin is dreaming of a way to sort terms by quantity on mobile. Indeed, you can do that on the browser. You can't quite do that on mobile, though. That does sound like a good suggestion. Are Dragon Hearts likely to be a rare reward from the golems this year already? We're already looking ahead to the golems, eh? Never say never, Jonathan. Never say never. It's time to sound my horn again. Speaking of which, get some more grubs. Hopefully. 25 more grubs for the pile. 50 if you include the ones that go in that cart. RIP headphone users. Uh-oh. That was dialed up to the maximum volume. I apologize, actually. When that was playing, I did notice it peaked into the red. That should have been a warning. Here, we'll play that at a more appropriate volume. Let's pull that back a bit. I was muted. Oh dear. See what happens. Uh-oh. I make a horrible DJ. Dave, muted Dave. No sound. I can't hear you. It was for the lip readers in the room. Just making sure that there's, an appropriate challenge. Giving away all the secrets. I think what I was saying. Asking about what will happen to the Relic Hunter scroll cases opened after Season 10 comes to an end. So Relic Hunter maps will still be a thing, but there'll no longer be any seasonal changing rewards. So when you start that map, you'll be on a Relic Hunter map. It'll still lead to a Relic Hunter treasure chest, and then playing around, experimenting with some different rewards that you find in that chest, and one of them being gilded coins. So it'll be a way that you can earn gilded coins all year round. We're adding some more gilded trap skins as well to the shop that you can buy with the gilded coins, as well as a permanent consumable use. Right now what we're playtesting is the ability to purchase a Slayer Scroll for quite a few gilded coins. It's a little bit on the expensive side, but you can get yourself a Slayer Scroll using those gilded coins, and that's very similar to, or it plays into one of the current identities of the Relic Hunter scroll cases is outside of doing a gilded map, the Relic Hunter scrolls are the best way to get a Slayer scroll case already. There's already a chance that you find the Slayer scroll case when you open up the chest. And so we're going to keep that as a nice fun surprise moment, like, hey, I just got a Slayer scroll case when I opened up the chest. But you'll always get some gilded coins, so you're always working your way toward getting that Slayer scroll case. So if you don't find one after you've opened up several chests, eventually you get the Slayer scroll case because you can buy it with your gilded coins. I said it's a little on the expensive side. It's quite a few gilded coins, but there's still a chance that you find it randomly when you open up any treasure chest as well. So overall, there's still, there's two ways to get the scroll case. Thank you. Dave, you're unmuted. Warning, you are unmuted. Warning, you sound great. Uh-oh. Will torch charms be in the Relic Hunter maps? Summer, that seems like a very left field question, eh? The relevance of those torch charms. I think they're already in the chest, if I'm not mistaken. It has quite the massive drop table that spans many, many areas. Fleming, my speakers are off, so I can't hear you. I can't help you there, Fleming. There's nothing I can do on my end for that. Chat has gone off the rails. Dragonbane song, please. Here, tell you what, I won't mute my mic this time. I'll play it one more time because I'll forget to unmute it. Are gilded coins just in the Relic Hunter chest or all chests? Just in the Relic Hunter chest. So it's a unique reward just for doing the Relic Hunter maps. They are a map that takes you all around the whole kingdom, right? The area specific maps are more focused. Their rewards are on the things to just help you in that area. Or another way to think about it, as you collect relics, as you go throughout your adventures, you can choose to spend some of those relics to help you out in certain areas, right? By doing some maps, and it helps you speed up there. Or gives you some extra supplies for those specific areas. Played both songs. I don't know where the Dragonbane song is, actually. I'd have to scroll up a very far way to track that down again. Every time, scratching, dude. Every time I hear the song, it sounds like it's coming from further away. Well, shall we dive into the trivia for this week? And I think we have the right answer. Giorgio, Norm, and I all collaborated on this to try to find the right answer. So this, I left out the R and answer there. The right answer. I'm gonna get the right answer to the trivia. What was the very first limited edition Relic Hunter reward? And bonus points if you know what season introduced a limited edition reward, because it wasn't there right off the bat. It wasn't season 1, I'll give you that. Soul says the trap thingy. You're warm. You're in the vicinity. It was not season 2. It was not the golden amulet. I think you might mean, is it the ancient amulet? Now we're getting into some trivia. I think it's called the ancient amulet, and you can still get that to this day. It's not limited edition. I don't believe so. It was not the ancient gauntlet. That is a kind of a fun looking trap though, to help out in the King's Gauntlet. Lady Nutsy knows it is the season 3 reward, which hopefully gives it away. Because there was only one reward. Schoolwork asking if the doubled slots will apply to already open maps. If you're just joining us or you didn't hear. Oh no, that is a different question. I apologize. That's a different question. You know, I don't know off the top of my head. Norm might be able to shed some light on that. I wonder if a map that you open before the event starts, will it gain extra slots? I don't know. Scrib, you don't have an ancient amulet. How does one go about getting one? I think it's a rare reward inside any Relic Hunter treasure chest, right? There's a lot of items to keep track of here. It is tradable. I have one. There are some for sale right now. It could be yours for 174,000 gold. None have changed hands yesterday, this week, or this month. It's not a big marketplace item. Somebody is looking to buy 5 of them for 10K. That's either one person who wants 5 or 5 people who want 1. I'm getting worried that we have the wrong answer to this trivia question. I haven't seen anyone say the correct answer. This is the first time stumping the chat. Jonathan, would it be an idea to recycle seasonal rewards? They're limited edition, so they don't come back. It is not the, no, not the chestless skin. Warden Slayer Trap. There you go. Puro. That's the correct answer. It is indeed the Warden Slayer, which looks pretty darn cool, although a bit of a confusing perspective when the base isn't there. And I'll put this in the chat for your clicking convenience. This trap is still useful. It's not too shabby. Depends on what other traps you've got in your arsenal. That's to say you have in your arsenal. You thought it was the ancient... Oh, you thought the trap was an ancient amulet. And it's the ancient gauntlet. And it's kind of... It's like a stone hand like this. And I think there's some droids around it dressed up as wizards. It's a pretty darn cute looking trap. And I think it gives you... it boosts your potion drops on some of the floors in the King's Gauntlet. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things in the game. There's no shortage of items and things. Is it better than the King Bot when hunting the Warmonger and the Warden? It does get an absolute massive stat bonus. Now, I don't know off the top of my head what the min luck of a Warden would be to know at what point does this trap no longer become relevant because you can min luck it. But it's probably kind of high. Chesla's Revenge Trap was limited edition in Season 2 as well? Really? Was that a Relic Hunter reward, though? The old Chesla's Revenge, eh? Chesla Trap Trigger. Tell I'm searching for something and I'm not finding it. Season 2 treasure chests are introduced, and the possibility of gaining the new Tesla's Revenge weapon. Look at this. That is the correct answer. That's the more correct answer. It is limited edition, is it not? I would think it is. Chesla's Revenge is limited edition, isn't it? Didn't the Ancient Gauntlet trap come before the Warden Slayer? All right, let's see. Let's look for the Ancient Gauntlet. Ancient Gauntlet, released in August 2012, is made available through treasure chests. I think that predated the seasonal structure. So it wasn't Relic Hunter season. I don't have any coffee. I have no beverage. You can't be speaking for how long? 40 minutes without a beverage. Unacceptable. The most correctest answer. Season 0. It was Season 1. Was it? Did we call it the seasons, though? I don't know when Season 1 began. Giorgio's confident. Giorgio's confident. Yeah, where it was in the HUD and everything, eh? Bazin, if you're having issues with the game, best is to reach out to support. It's probably the best avenue to go through. You can kind of use, on mobile, you can tap the, looks like little chevrons. There's a little support button when you expand the menu. Or otherwise on the browser, it is in the top left corner of the game. Top right corner. I just confused myself. I'll blame looking in a mirror flipped camera. Well, that's what I'll blame. That seems like a good excuse. Lee, will there be a countdown timer for the cash out phase for Halloween? Sadly, you didn't manage to offload all your Chrome bits during the Roz event because you waited for too long. It is one little rough edge of how events work. It's tricky. It's kind of hard to find a just right solution. We've had some other ideas, but they're a little difficult for us to implement the way conversions and shop exchanges work. It's hard to open up a shop for just one player or kind of detach the shop from being tied to a specific environment. So it's very tricky for us to extend the cash out after the event that the shop exists in, or the location the shop exists in after it closes down. So I hear you. I know it's a little bit of a sticking point in the way some events work. So at least for now, we might have to chalk it up to, part of the experience of getting good at playing events is not waiting to the last minute to exchange your things. Or, you might even want to halfway through the event start thinking like, oh, maybe I'll pick up a few rewards, see what's going on. Or it's just kind of the way it is. If the grocery store closes at 10 p.m. and you kind of lose track of time and you show up at 10:05, you can't buy groceries anymore. So it's just, it's kind of a fact of life in some ways that's reflected in the game. That said, we would like to smooth that out and make it as, least clunky as possible. And we have some ideas. It's just some of them are harder for us to actually put into the game than we would like to make it feasible to be able to do. Will there ever be a megahertz or gigahertz process to rival the processor drop by the M1000? That's a cute idea. No plan, so that's certainly a cute sounding item. You seem to remember there was a forgotten trap which would be useful in the fungal cavern. I think it looked like a big walking machine, and it boosted your mineral drops. I'm beginning to lose my ability to enunciate, which is usually a good sign. And it's about time to wrap things up. Michelle is away today for a little bit. She had to step out for a bit. And she's usually a good timekeeper. She lets me know, Dave, it's been 45 minutes. The Crystal Mineral Crusher. There you go. Saul's got the answer. That was it. I think that's the trap I'm thinking of. Does it have a sort of red, pink kind of color scheme? It looks like it's overheated a bit. Little steampunk kind of flare, some gears and cogs everywhere. Sounds familiar to me. Swift, will the Valorif journal theme ever be released? We're still waiting, eh? Tough to say, tough to say. I mean, there's no immediate plans. I'd be open to the idea. Sometimes it just takes, a dev to be inspired to find a fun way to implement that. Thank you, Fleming. It's been 45 minutes. All right. The M10,000. Will we get to 10,000 mice? That'll be quite the momentous achievement. It took us 17 years to get to 1,000. I better make sure to take some vitamins. That's a lifetime. It was a good trap everywhere back in the day, still using that location. Will parental traps be useful in the next zone? Aronas, no, they will not. Alas, we are going to slowly phase out parental. We have some long-term plans. Did I say we're working on an update to the game, and in that update, parental's been removed. But that's a very long-term update to the game that we've been working on. So, but that is the direction we're going. And it was a cute, fun idea 14-ish years ago, and we were celebrating the 2nd anniversary of the game. We had that terrible twos mouse, and it felt a little inappropriate that there was a very, I don't know, like a terrible twos mouse, a very kind of young-spirited, troublemaker mouse. And some of the traps are a little bit on the aggressive side. So we thought, well, we'll just have a nanny bot straighten out that mouse. But it's all grown up now. It can do battle with all of its other mice against the hunter's traps. So I think we'll be phasing that out. That trap would just get a different power type. So the trap won't be gone. It would still be a nanny bot, but it'll probably gain a different power type. All grown up and still setting fire to everything. Still up to no good. All right, well, hunters, I think that's going to do it for me. What is it? It is 11:45. I think it's a good time to wrap up. So again, quick little recap. Look forward to the Boiling Cauldrons and the Gloomy Greenwood making a return October 17. They have the Chrome Charms are being added to the Rift of Fire potions, Master Mage's Cheese to the Epic Cheese potions as well. Kind of looking for initial impressions on shortening the cash out phase a little bit. So you still have that shutdown phase, but we're going to kind of abbreviate things a little bit. And part of that is as well as, hey, just around the corner in November is this map mega party. And kind of to start that, Halloween needs to come to a conclusion. So that might be good, just information to get out there is, please make sure you spend that evil extract. Even as you're brewing it, it's not a bad idea to start picking up some potions while you're making it. During that whole week of shutdown as well, start using some of your evil extract. And you can look forward to the treasure map mega party coming in November and all the other goodness that event season has afterwards. Thanks for joining me, hunters. Have yourself a fantastic weekend. Happy hunting. It'll most likely be Jacob joining you next week, I would think, but we'll see what the plan ends up being next week. Have a fantastic one. I'll see you next time.
You're a trap, don't seem to mind it. You attract me. I'm a mouse, you're a cat. I don't seem to mind it. Soft and furry. Oh, and just when I think I'm safe, snap. Turns out I'm never safe, snap. Just when you think you're safe, snap. I come back. You don't seem to mind it, but I'm a fool. Broke my back. You don't seem to mind it, 'cause you're so cool. And just when I think I'm safe, snap. Turns out I'm never safe. Snap. Ooh, and just when you think you're safe, snap. Turns out I'm never safe.